I stumble onto most things by accident, and this case was no different. It was buried deep in a stack of court records I probably shouldn't have been reading. A federal witness list from a drug trafficking trial back in 2011. There was one name that stood out: Marissa Holt. She'd testified and been placed into witness protection. Standard stuff. But what caught my eye was the date of death next to her name. According to the record, she died in a highway crash just 8 months after entering the program. Normally, that would be the end of the story. People in witness protection don't always live long, peaceful lives, even with all the safeguards. But a comment on an old, archived local news article about the crash changed everything. Someone claimed they'd seen Marissa in a grocery store in Arizona 2 years after her supposed funeral. They described her perfectly: the same height, the same distinctive birthmark on her jaw, even the way she reflexively tucked her hair behind her ear. I almost dismissed it. A random person online seeking attention, right? But then I found another sighting, and another. Different towns, different states, but always the same description. Always someone recognizing a face they were absolutely sure belonged to a woman buried in Colorado. When I dug back into the original article about her crash, something felt off. There were no photos from the scene, no interviews with investigators, no obituary from her family. The only official confirmation of her death came from a single press release, one that, strangely, I couldn't find filed anywhere in the public record. It was like it never existed. I told myself it was just one bizarre case, a statistical anomaly, a fluke. But then I found another one. A man named Peter Doyle. He was put into witness protection after cooperating in a major racketeering case. Official cause of death: a sudden heart attack in 2018. But 3 separate witnesses, 3 complete strangers with no connection to each other, swore they saw him working in a hardware store in Oregon, living under a new name. One of them even claimed they spoke to him. They said he got visibly nervous when they mentioned where they were from. Then, a year later, another sighting surfaced on the opposite side of the country, in North Carolina. This time, he was using a different identity altogether. 2 sightings could be a coincidence, maybe a convincing look-alike. But 3? 3 starts to feel like a pattern. But there weren't just 3. There were 8. 8 different sightings of Peter Doyle, a man who was officially dead. Every time a witness died in the protection program, reports of them being alive would start popping up all across the country. They weren't clustered in one region. They were scattered everywhere, like pieces of a puzzle deliberately designed not to fit together. I tried to get access to the official WITSEC database. You can probably guess how well that went. Almost everything is sealed, redacted, or locked down so tightly you'd think it was nuclear launch codes. But the few fragments I could access showed glaring inconsistencies. Date formats that didn't match federal standards. Case numbers that were completely out of order. Notes that seemed to be written by different people on the same file. One record even had a signature that was completely different from all the others, as if someone new had stepped in and taken over halfway through the process. The deeper I dug, the stranger it all became. Families were told their loved ones had died suddenly. In many cases, the bodies were cremated before the next of kin even had a chance to view them. Death certificates would appear weeks later, riddled with clerical errors that no official federal document should ever have. And all the while, the sightings kept coming in. Different faces in different towns, but the same people over and over again. I managed to get in touch with a retired U.S. Marshal who'd worked with WITSEC for 20 years. He refused to go on the record, but he did say one thing that has stuck with me ever since. His voice was strained over the phone, like he instantly regretted answering my call. Witness protection works on two simple principles, he said. Replace the identity, relocate the person. It's a clean break, a clean slate. Then he paused for a long moment before adding, his voice barely a whisper, Unless someone decides the clean break has to go deeper. I asked him what he meant by that. He hung up. After that call, things started getting weird for me. Articles I had bookmarked about these cases suddenly vanished. Web pages I had archived now showed 404 not found errors. A forum thread I'd saved, where someone discussed a man who looked exactly like Peter Doyle, was deleted by the user except when I checked. The user's account no longer existed. Then, 2 days ago, I got a message on my voicemail. There was no caller ID. It was just static for a few seconds. Then a distorted, whispered voice said, "Stop looking for the living," and then the line went dead. Last night I was reviewing the sightings again. One was from a man in Nevada who claimed he'd seen Marissa Holt walk into a convenience store. He'd posted a blurry security camera image. It was low quality, but one thing stood out immediately, her eyes. They were completely familiar. The same eyes from her original court photo, with the exact same weary expression. I stared at that image for what felt like hours, trying to make any sense of it. Maybe the government faked their deaths. It's plausible. Maybe they were just relocated with new identities, and the death certificates were just another layer of the protection plan. But if that's true, why lie to the families? Why insist on cremating the bodies so quickly, before anyone can ask questions? Why go to such lengths to erase every single trace of their old lives, only to have them pop up on security cameras across the country? And if they are still alive, why are there so many of them? I don't know if these people are actually dead. I don't know if they're being hidden or recycled into new operations or replaced entirely. I can't tell if the sightings are real or if they're somehow staged. But I do know this. Someone who is supposed to be dead keeps showing up in places they shouldn't. And the more I dig, the more it feels like the witness protection program isn't about protecting witnesses anymore. It's about protecting whatever it is they've become. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on this, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. Stay curious.